First of all, thank you so much for joining today as we are discussing on one of the trending travel topic, which is sustainable travel. And post-pandemic, we can see that there is a lot of demand at this side of travel where people would like to travel with a sense of responsibility and also with a sense of responsibility towards the nature. So today we are going to discuss about sustainable travel. We all know the solar energy. We all know about how things have been changing in terms of people being more careful about using the resources and saving the planet. But how much did we as a travel professional progressed towards the sustainability? Let's throw a bit of light on that. So today we have Miss MARWA from the retreat. It is one of the sustainable resort, or I could say a sustainable glamping, which is in Fujairah, and I have been there. So I personally would vouch for it that this is one of the very beautiful places I have seen. One of the experiential part of travel is about staying in the nature, and we have Miss MARWA here, who comes from a place which they have created in concern with the nature. So I would like to hear from Miss MARWA to start with. So Ms. MARWA, I have one question for you, and that is, what are the specialized sustainable tourism practices currently Retreat is adopting? And how is the trend with the tourists whom you experience, who come to experience the Retreat Fujairah?
Hi, Sapna. Hi, everyone who's watching, and thank you for having me on this discussion today. As both tourism and sustainability, as you mentioned, pre and post pandemic really was something. For instance, us as the retreat champion about 5 years ago, when we decided that this is the right way actually to go and approach from different angle. Like you want to create that beautiful haven, you want to create that nice destination, and at the same time, you want to make sure that it is sustainable for multiple reasons. Obviously, multiple reasons that it will, how it will impact the traveler, how it will impact the environment, how it will impact the economy, and then ultimately, and sustainability in general as a term is very broad, and sustainable tourism is even broader. We fall into the definition of ecotourism, where we are eco-friendly, where we make sure that we have low impact on the environment, and then our destination that obviously will preserve the cultural heritage is something that we took into consideration while we built the retreat, because as you know, we sit on the outskirts in a small village in the city of Fujairah. You want to really make sure that you do less damage into the environment, you preserve the wildlife if there is any around you. You make sure that you sort of like mold within the environment and then that landscape that is around. And this is exactly what we did. Primarily, again, I mean, from being a camp that built using a lot of recycled materials, as you probably, if you visited, you're aware of how we do things there. And then obviously we've got solar panels to support cleaner energy from an eco-friendly perspective. We have invested a lot in the infrastructure of water treatment, where us as property, we treat black water into a gray water. We use it on our irrigation. In our lighting, we use very low carbon footprint lights in the same time. So wherever we could, and the technology really helped us to be able to build that place, we took each and every factor into consideration to really fit what an ecotourism could be, what sustainability could be about, because obviously, as much as everyone wanted to champion that from a practice and approach, we can't keep a blind eye that the word sustainability became overused and misplaced in so many places.
Okay, that's wonderful. So we always say that together we grow. So when we are in concern with the environment and nature, okay, this is how going forward we can grow together, when we take care of every aspect of the growth of the tourism. So here I would like to introduce Ms. Deepa, who's Director of Sales and Business Development from Cozmo Travel, a member of Air Arabia Group. So I would like to know from you, Deepa, that being a travel professional since years, how is your organization taking care of environment, and how sustainable tourism is applied in your organization, and what are the steps you are taking?
These days we've stopped printing in the office, so there's minimalistic printing of documents. We have moved to DocuSign. Our CEO as well believes in the Go Green concept, and we recently moved into the Go Green concept. Recent is maybe during the pandemic we realized running around without a proper the skies were so light, and it was a different and difficult situation that everybody was in. And it really gave everyone time to think and reflect in terms of, anything. Everybody had a time to, stop, think, reflect. And that gave us a lot of time to make these changes. And it was very clear that, the earth, Mother Earth is facing so many environmental concerns.
Thank you so much, Deepa. Back to nature is way forward. This is what is the saying now. And yes, I completely agree with you. The pandemic has given us a lot of time to think, realize, and go back to nature. I would like to now introduce Ms. Varsha Pherwani. She comes from Travel Counsellor, and in other words, all I could say is that she lives by the term sustainability. I would like to know more about how you have been implementing sustainable tourism in your profession, Varsha. And I'm sure that travel counselors have been doing this a lot, and I'm sure that there is a lot of insights you would like to share on this with us.
It's such a privilege to be here talking with you ladies about sustainability. So as a company, as travel counselors, we promote sustainability a lot. We work with a UK-based travel company called the Travel Foundation, which is an international sustainable organization. As a travel agent, our job is to promote, to educate our clients about sustainable tourism. So we have ways of identifying the hotels, identifying the destinations, particularly that are promoting sustainability. So to name a few, there are some great initiatives in Mauritius, in Seychelles. Are you able to hear me, Sapna?
Absolutely, I can hear you very well, Varsha.
So there are a few destinations that are really big on sustainability, and we support them with that. We support the local communities, we support ecotourism, and even work very, very closely with the tourism boards as well in ways we can educate our customers what sustainable tourism is all about. And personally, I'm big on sustainability as well. So from home onwards, like my son is an eco warrior at school, and so I believe in eco-friendly and saving, protecting the environment. I mean, pandemic was a way to open our eyes, but nature has this way of telling you, it has to stop now, and we need to change our ways to kind of understand what it's trying to tell us. So I see that people were kind of aware what had happened, but they have fallen back into that trap of, okay, now life's back to normal, so we can go back to our old ways. But it's a constant approach. And I really believe that unless people don't ask, is there a product that is more sustainable? Is there a product that I can buy, or is there a product that I can book that is sustainable? There will not be a change. There will not be an impact. So it has to come from the consumer's side as well. There has to be demand from the consumers that I want to book something sustainable. I want to do an ecotourism. I want to do an experiential travel rather than just hopping, skipping, and jumping from one city to the other. So it's a kind of a circle. You need to educate as well as make people aware that you need to ask for it as well. Because if there is a demand, then there will be a supply as well. So it has to work both ways. Not only the tourism boards and the travel agents have to do their work, but as a consumer from the other side, we need to show that demand as well.
That's wonderful, Varsha. Being a part of a corporate travel company, Pluto Travels, I had the marketing department, and I have my corporate clients, multinational companies, who on an annual basis will ask me about the carbon footprints they have created in the entire year. And we on an average give them a complete detail of how much they have been using and how much carbon footprints they have been doing. So in a nutshell, I would like to ask our professionals that how do you engage travelers to utilize sustainable practices, and how does it contribute towards travelers' experiences? Yes, we heard from the ladies that they have been practicing a sustainable tourism in their own ways, in their own professional lives. But how are we as travel professionals promoting it to travelers, and how do we encourage them to lead towards it? So I would like to check with MARWA that how do the guest who comes to the retreat experience that and they go by sustainability?
Great, thank you. I mean, it's a great question. We're still in the customer education phase, to be honest with you. I mean, though we've been in the market relatively only for the past 3 years, and it's been we have spent a lot of time educating the customer, because in ecotourism it's a very niche segment, right? And then obviously it's emerging to the world. So when we first introduced the idea, people sort of thought of it as a completely off the chart in terms of lodging, because we're all accustomed to a certain facility when we go stay in a lodging or a hotel. We want everything. We want the pool, we want the room, we want the AC, we want everything. So obviously this is what primarily what the retreat does not stand for. One of them is having a chemically watered pool, really, because it's completely against the idea of ecotourism. I mean, what we do is we champion nature and sustainability in terms of working with nature, and then getting people back on track, really. Just go back to the basics, go back to when you relax, disconnect, and then be able to mold with that nature. I mean, so there are, I would say, 3 things, because in sustainable tourism there is the negative impact and then the positive impact. So negative impacts, usually they refer at the economies, economic leakage, and then you do a lot of damage to the natural environment. And at the same time, when you overcrowd a place, and this is what today is happening in tourism destinations. So this is, from a sustainability perspective, is actually a negative impact of tourism. So if you want to be sustainable, you should be less crowded. If you want to be sustainable, you should, as I said in the beginning, you should have job creation. You have to cultural heritage, preserve the nature, and work with it. And then when we come and then we try to present that product, it's still, I wouldn't say an easy sale. Like, probably the panelists here know, whoever works in travel agency, how it's not an easy sale, because to be able to say you want to go somewhere where it's natural, where we use resources, natural resources, we use whatever is around us. So we're not going to have all the lavishness, let's say, per se, which it has a negative impact on the environment. And then obviously people has to be educated about responsible travel. So responsible travel is, it's an individual choice that we do make, and it's a behavior we decide to take with us wherever we go. And then obviously, this behavior again goes back all to the sustainable tourism idea, meaning less negative impact, more positive impact, and ultimately the product is there. And I think it's always about supply and demand, but we are a very, very strong believer in eco-friendly tourism and sustainability, because we know this is how the future is going to look like. So we keep on championing that. We are available with that product, and obviously from an eco-friendly in the Middle East, I'm not sure how many businesses they do really exist in terms of real eco-friendly consideration into the building and everything, and then they could be sort of standardized and certified. But I think there is a shift even from companies like travel operators, because obviously the social media helps educating people faster, being out in the nature, being in a place where you can preserve the nature, contributing to that small economy, because when you work in a small environment where areas, not big cities, were overcrowded, I think this is how people contribute to sustainable tourism when they make their travel choices.
That's a interesting take. And I also believe that sustainability is somewhere related to minimalism. And if we talk about the generation today, or if we talk about the responsible tourists today, they believe in minimalism. And as you mentioned about the pool and all the facilities people are looking for, there are people who believe in wellness holidays. And when it comes to wellness holidays, again, it is a part of sustainability. And this is what your retreat offers. It offers minimalism with wellness, with sustainability. So I think people are getting apted to it, used to it. There are various kinds of holidays, and the kind of accommodation and stay which your retreat provides is majorly in terms of wellness and sustainability. And people are up for such kind of holidays and stays as well. So I would like to know more from Deepa about it, that being a travel company who does holidays, who does MICE groups, how does travelers whom you cater to as an organization lives by the term sustainability, and how much they are comfortable being into that environment?
I think Varsha and MARWA have covered this so well. That I'm actually quite lost of some substance, because this subject is so vast, and like Varsha really pointed it out rightly, that we lack a lot of knowledge in terms of this. So it's so important that there has to be this two-way communication and have a continuous engagement, and we have to keep educating our clients. And slowly but surely, I think we will all get there. And in terms of if we work as just one individual at a time, I think this can be easily achieved, because I mean, that's how you spread the word, right? So and I see it even in terms of the airlines or the local hotels nowadays. They are promoting it even in terms of promoting a vegan meal, or consuming when you go to a destination, they say they have a corner which says that they're promoting the local and seasonal products of the destination. I was surprised recently when I was at a destination where they even were giving me a reusable straw or a paper straw. So yeah, the world is being educated, but I think it's never enough. In terms of certain countries, the population is so much that a continuous engagement is extremely important. and it's not achievable. It's achievable, but it has to be consistently induced in people. So yeah, that's what we are trying to do. When we sell a destination, we send out travel information by WhatsApp, electronic, of course, where we mention all the do's and don'ts of the destination, and we try and promote sustainability tourism as well, in terms of keeping the place clean and not just throw garbage. And I don't know how many people like it, but we try and tell people to reduce the consumption of meat and dairy products. The refusal of a single plastic, even UAE. We've gone very far now. Certain places, if you go, they charge you for a plastic bag or a paper bag. But yeah, I see this constantly, that this is getting better and bigger as a subject knowledge.
Absolutely. That's a great insight. In fact, I would also like to put some more inputs here. There are so many different resorts around the world who are self-sustained. They use solar energy. They don't use any plastic. I was recently invited to a wellness retreat, and all I could see was, rather than giving me plastic bags, they were giving food in the cassava bags. Now, cassava bags are very much, strong enough to hold the things, and they are a very good alternate to plastic. Our own country where we stay, they banned plastics from this year. So I think even the government is taking initiative towards it. But right now, when I send corporate mice groups to different parts of the world, we always give them an option of a resort which is self-sustainable, because the resorts who are self-sustained, they self-contained, they actually send us the details about themselves, showing this as a specialty. And we all know that travelers always ask for something out of the box, something different. And when they do the tour of such resorts, they really get, they really enjoy that how things are moving towards the nature, towards back to nature, and how people are so much responsible. Yeah. So I think Varsha, even Travel Counsellors, does MICE groups, and they do a lot of, groups to different parts of the world. So I would like to check with you regarding the travelers you are sending, and how are they adapting towards sustainability? Varsha, you are on mute.
So as MARWA mentioned that, ecotourism, responsible tourism, this product is very hard to sell. Not with the millennials, but the millennials are more educated, but towards the generation that's like X, Y generation, the Z generation is way far ahead of us. But so it's like, when it's a corporate travel group, then how do we incorporate sustainability is where we kind of introduce the local communities of the destination. So we move them towards experiencing the local culture, get them interacting with people who are making things, locally produced things. And sustainability goes far more beyond than just having it's eco-responsible product, like where it goes more beyond reducing, reusing, and recycling. It's also about incorporating local communities and helping them out as well. So if there is a group of people who are making woven baskets, so these are given out as gifts to the corporate travelers rather than giving them something plastic souvenir to take it back home with them. So things like that, as well as reducing travel by plane, intercity plane transfers. You would rather give them an option of traveling by train, or give them an option of traveling by cycle if they want to go from just do a city tour around, rather than taking it in a car. They would do it in a bike, on a bicycle. So these are ways of kind of like, giving them that second option, like, you have a sustainable way of exploring the country and even enjoying it even better. If you're going slower, you take it at your own pace and you are able to experience the nature more this way. So this is how we incorporate sustainability and kind of try to educate our clients and deviate them towards being more responsible in their choices.
I also want to put my inputs here. In 2019 December, right before the pandemic, I was invited by Bali Tourism Board to experience few of the islands of Bali, especially the islands which comes under Gili Islands and also the Lombok and other places. And I still remember we were taken to world's cleanest village. It was a special media trip, and I remember I was taken to world's cleanest village where we actually ate the food at someone's home, as there are no hotels there and they've got all homestays, a beautiful clean home. And there we were gifted handicrafts made by the villagers, which was again from the tree barks and all that. So I think the government is already incorporating sustainability at different levels. Like when we went to Gili Islands, I remember we had to use a bullock cart because that was the only way to travel around the island. And the only way to travel around the island after you reach your resort was through the cycle. So we all had our cycles to travel around the island. So these are the steps which government is taking towards sustainability, towards responsible tourism. So I would like to check with MARWA that what do you think? What should be the what should be the steps adapted by the tourism board or the travel agents or the resort owners towards sustainability? What can be one step extra you as a retreat owner or you as a retreat manager can adapt towards sustainability?
Well, I mean, they all have an important role, obviously, to shake hands at some point, but it all starts by regulations, right? As a start, and tourism board by helping and encouraging the small businesses, I would say, or even medium businesses. So that usually happens on a governmental level where you can promote areas that is usually, remote, distant, again, natural, because that's part of being sustainable. It's not very popular destinations. And I think tourism boards in, I don't know, across the Middle East, obviously, I mean, there are a lot of active tourism boards. There's a little bit of not active tourism boards all in all. But I think one thing definitely that they're not doing currently is getting out of the status quo of how they used to promote tourism, right? I mean, obviously, the experience you talked about is in Bali is the travel board is already, tourism board is already thinking forward. I haven't seen much of those activities from tourism boards so far. We go to big exhibitions, we go to big shows, and we see exactly the same things has been replicated in how we promote tourism for the past 30 years. So I think number one is tourism boards really need to take the leap, and then they have to reinvent themselves of how to put tourism forward without obviously discounting. There is a very important segment of travelers today from the generations before the millennials, obviously. And with these, if you educate them enough, you will see a very good sort of retainment, right? It's going to take time to be able to convince them, because obviously the minute they step into towards ecotourism or sustainable tourism, they will be as well responsible travelers. So they are as important, because obviously they still represent a very big number of our populations overall. But I think, again, back to the point I want to deviate so much, is we don't want to discount anyone and not be able to talk to anyone. But obviously the language we speak needs to be different. The approach that we do, or how we promote countries and destinations, need to be different. So it starts with the government approach, tourism boards, of how they promote, and then they should be inclusive of all different bits of tourism, being eco-friendly. Maybe they should emphasize if this is in line. I suppose globally today, all the governments have been championing the fact that they need to go with more sustainability, with more clean energy, etc., etc. And obviously, each and every segment makes an impact towards that goal overall. From lodging perspective, I think, What we're doing at the retreat is I think it's fair enough given the circumstances and given the support that whether we had or we didn't have, because we deeply believe in the idea as individuals who live by it. And then obviously when we came up with this idea, it was translating and how we would how us as tourists, if we would like to travel somewhere, how would we like to experience that place? So we try to represent that as much as we can, and then we were trying to attract the like-minded. But again, actually, to be fair to a lot of people are coming, as I said, more knowledgeable, and then the education is ongoing. We've seen different segments that we were not expecting to see. You know, it was not obviously in our overall forecast because we were targeting certain audience, but then obviously, you know, the audience is broader currently, and I think the rest of the you know, in the industry, it takes three things is really to start with your staff. I would think, you know, if you believe in it, you will be able to translate that and reflect. So from lodging perspective, I think management should take more responsibility about trainings, about, you know, being able to see where they can certify, standardize, and then even in big businesses and big hotels, I would say still there is, you know, it's doable without compromising on the fact that, you know, a 5-star hotel is rated 5 stars because they provide everything that is not eco-friendly, right? So I think it's a lot of places that they need to work where all these businesses and bodies can make an impact and shake hands to be able to take it to the next level.
Mm-hmm. That's a very good insight towards it, that everybody together have to work towards it. The authorities, the small business owners, the travel agents, the retreat owners, the hotel owners, the hotel chain, everybody has to work hand in hand to save the planet and to work towards sustainable tourism. I would come to Deepa now. That Deepa, what do you think that is, what are the steps you think should government or business owners or travel organizations should take towards sustainability?
I personally think each one has to start from their own self as an individual, because I mean, if we wait for organizations, which I think the tourism boards are getting there, the main lacking here is knowledge. Soon that is happening. I mean, Rome wasn't built in a day, so that progress will surely happen. So long as we start individually to make sustainable tourism the new normal, to read more about it, to keep ourselves briefed, to say no to plastics, to recycle, to make sure to use the right bins on the roads, to make sure that the plastics are recycled, the papers are put into the paper baskets. So if we divide our wastes well, I think that's kind of the first step. I think individually we need to challenge ourselves to step out of our comfort zone, because we've all got into so much of a comfort zone that we don't want to get out of it and try something new. So I think that's something that we can do as an individual. If we respect local practices of local people, who still try and follow some of their traditional practices, that will help in a very big way. Take care of the heritage places. There are so many cities, including, Sharjah and some of the UAE sites. Alula, I mean, Saudi Arabia is going big time by not only promoting, their places, but also trying to take care of those heritage sites. So I think that's a very good thing that they're doing. We could probably even look at, I mean, we are not so educated. So if we participate in some drives that these sustainable organizations are running, I think that's a way that we can also get educated by this. These are the few things that's coming to my mind that I try and even tell my team to practice this. So as an individual, if we start, I think eventually everyone will. So the saying goes that practice what you preach, right? So if we start practicing that will thing, and I think I'd like to just add here as well. It's like the Newton's law, right? If we maximize a positive impact, we'll see a minimization in the negative impact. So yeah.
That's so true. So last week we had a minds group which we took to one of the parts of Seychelles, and I remember in every hotel room they had a tag which said that every bed sheet and towel, when we wash it daily, X amount of water is used. So if you would like to if you're planning to reuse the towel, please don't put it on the floor and put it on, just hang it. So I think few hotels have already started taking initiative to save the water, and they are moving towards sustainability. That's again a part of sustainability. So I think I would, and even I could see there are so many different organizations and small travel companies who have started specializing into hiking tours in UAE, in Dubai, in spite of the weather, where they would take the groups in the morning at 4:30 and 5, and they would try and connect them with the nature of this country, where we know that we don't spend a lot of time in the nature in UAE. But if you go and see the places around Fujairah, around Ras Al Khaimah, the wadis, they are so beautiful and so natural, especially the sunrises and sunsets. So I would like to check with Varsha that what do you think should be the steps? Because I know that this show would be, this panel discussion would be there in Gulf Travel Show, where there would be a lot of tourism boards presenting, where there would be a lot of different governments who will be a part of this show. So we would like to send a message to them from our side that what are the things a government or a tourism board or a travel company or a hotel or a resort should take, what are the steps they should take towards sustainability?
I believe that over tourism has a lot to do with what we are experiencing in nowadays. And pandemic is one of the reasons as well. We've seen that there was a pent-up demand and people just flocked to places of interest or places that were more popular. So when someone's thinking of coming to the UAE, the first thing that comes to their mind is, I want to go to Dubai, I want to see Dubai. But nobody would say, I want to go see Fujairah. I want to go see Ras Al Khaimah. So I think where a tourism board can step in here and kind of promote less touristy destinations to the travelers, kind of give more exposure to places that are hidden, that are more raw, that are more in nature, and that has more potential also to kind of maximize your holiday experience as well. So I think tourism boards can play a huge role in unfolding these hidden gems of not only the UAE, but every country, I believe, every destination, I believe, has these beautiful hidden gems that we don't know about. So until and unless you don't educate the travel agents, until and unless you don't educate the end consumer, there has to be a step forward for that. So there should be a step taken towards that. Also, I believe that if there was a brand ambassador appointed for, I don't know, maybe for a greener approach towards a particular destination, that would help. And of course, anything on social media is like marketing on steroids. So if you're promoting sustainability on social media, that's again a great impact and also a step forward to kind of promoting where we want to get at finally. So this is what I think, that the tourism board should be inclusive of more smaller destinations, smaller villages or smaller cities that we've never heard of.
Okay, that's again a very good take on it. And what you said, Varsha, I also have been thinking around the similar lines, that why not there should be a rating, like we have a 5-star or a 4-star or a 3-star rating for hotels. Why can't there be a rating based on the eco-friendly and sustainable hotels, travel companies, so that we can they can promote it better, in terms of rating, and then we can educate the travelers and the industry professionals based on the rating. The way we prefer staying in a 4 or a 5-star hotel, can't we have a rating based on their sustainability and how eco-friendly the hotel is, like a 4 or a 5-star or a green star? I don't know, we can have such kind of rating for these hotels or for these tourism attractions. This is what I can think of, what the steps which can be taken by the travel industry towards sustainability. Thank you so much, ladies. I think we have shared our inputs, our insights towards how we can make this world a beautiful place, sustainable place through our professions, which is travel. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Varsha.
Thank you, Sapna.
Thank you,
Marwa.
And
Thank
Varsha.
you so much.